Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rina the Wolf, and today I am going to talk about why I don't really speak Hungarian anymore. So this is my mother tongue. I was born in Hungary. I was raised in Hungary. I'm currently still in Hungary. But as much as I love the language, as I love the country, I only speak it when it's necessary. So I started learning English around the age of 5, 6-ish, started to take it more seriously around the age of 12, and after that I was just like, meh, I'm good at this, I don't really care. So things just kept flowing actually, and I kept learning and learning, but we are talking about the language, right? So languages keep changing, it's not easy. I had to keep track of the slang, the different accents. It was not easy. And when I got into university, my major was actually English and American Studies because I wanted to be a translator. I love reading. My biggest dream has always been being a translator, but then English is the only foreign language I speak. So it never happened, unfortunately. However, the main thing is that I love how humongous Hungarian vocabulary is. But since about 2014, I have always been working with mostly foreigners, which is great. I love that part. So I got my first customer service representative job when I was still in university. It was tough. I heard all kinds of accents all around Europe, a lot of Irish and English and Scottish accent. I love them all. And then whenever I got into a team where we only had Hungarian members, in most cases, I didn't feel good. There were only a few exceptions, like 2 or 3, but I have always felt like Hungarian people, in most cases, hey, maybe it's just my generation, because Gen Z seems to be much cooler. So maybe it's just my generation, but Hungarians tend to be much more depressed and depressive, especially when they get together and they can just keep complaining about all the things that annoy them. So, yeah, this is one of the reasons why, because whenever I speak Hungarian, I start feeling the urge of complaining about something, or just bitch about life. You know what? This is exactly what I'm doing right now, right? Or in general on my channel. But the things I realized is that Rina the Wolf, the English speaker person, is not the same as, insert my real name here, speaking Hungarian. Sure. When I speak English, I can talk about my feelings more openly. I don't know about you, so if you're bilingual, leave me a comment about whether you find it easier to talk about your feelings in another language. Or maybe it's just like me. Maybe it's how I see things, how I usually don't want to talk about my feelings, especially in Hungarian. Maybe because when I do, it just feels way too real. But maybe, and most probably, it's just yet again my brain who loves fucking me up. So Rina the Wolf is not a YouTube persona. Rina the Wolf is a person who speaks English, and she's not as depressed as her Hungarian version. It sounds a little bit stupid, I know it sounds so freaking stupid, but I just realized how I cannot properly describe my feelings and or my thoughts when I speak Hungarian when I started to take writing, lyrics included, much more seriously. So yeah, when I started writing, when I was a teenager, I started writing in Hungarian, and soon enough I was like, ooh, this is not good. And when I started writing in English, even though my vocabulary still needed improvement, and when I say improvement, I mean it, it needed a lot of improvement, I felt better. And the more I learned in English, the more words I learned, the bigger my vocabulary was becoming, I felt much more confident in my English writing. And maybe we can have a session or a video where I compare my old writings and or lyrics with current ones. I wouldn't be against it. This is a learning curve. So this is one of the reasons I feel much better that I can talk about my feelings. Maybe this is something I bring from my family, that we usually don't talk about our feelings. Maybe it's a European thing, maybe it's a Hungarian thing. I have honestly no idea. But what I realized is that Rina the Wolf is a much more open person than insert real name here. So it is what it is. And since I have been working with mostly foreigners and the common language was English, whenever I told them like, hey, I wrote this and I think it's not too bad, so maybe if you're into it, you should check it. Or, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Or, hey, I'm planning to go on YouTube because, you know, I want to do this. I want to talk about a lot of things. I think my thoughts would be relatable. Some people, maybe, I don't know. And the first question, whenever I start talking about my book, my fanfiction, my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, the first reaction is, oh wow, I would love to check it out, but I don't speak Hungarian. Well, you don't have to speak Hungarian because I only upload things in English for the reasons I have already talked about. And the thing is that I think this is just a great way for practice, even though languages keep changing, sometimes from day to day, which is great. But the thing is, I worked in a factory, okay? I was still a student in university. It was right before my first customer service job. And I was already in university, so I was already an English major. And I loved England, I loved the US, I loved Australia, all the English-speaking countries, right? I was literally obsessed. When I was younger, first of all, I wanted to move to the US because West Hollywood, yay! It was the 2010s, okay? It was the 2010s. Everything on YouTube for me was about lesbian YouTubers, and most of them lived in LA, alright? Jokes aside, I lived and breathed YouTube at the time. I loved the US. And there was this one day when I wore this t-shirt and it had an American flag on it. And one of my coworkers were so upset about it. And he was like, what the fuck are you wearing? Why are you wearing this? You're a fucking Hungarian person. Why are you doing this? This is disgusting. And I was like, bro, listen, this is none of your business. But I felt shook. And I have to confess that most of the time I don't feel that I can identify with my Hungarian generation or Hungarians from the previous generation. Sometimes I feel like, and it's like a lot, like I don't belong here, like I should have moved at least 10 years ago, maybe even more. I will upload another video on how and why I have not moved yet. Which is a little bit fucked up. And the thing is, sometimes I felt so bad about things. Like, I know, would I go to another country? I'm not sure I would dare tell people that I'm from Hungary. the perception of Hungarians are getting so bad. I'm not going to say that I'm ashamed of being a Hungarian person, because I'm not. Listen, we had great inventors, we have great historical figures, but I'm definitely not proud of the past at least 20 years, maybe even more. So I'm afraid of that. But my foreigner friends are very supportive, and I love that. And my biggest concern for a whole lot of time was my accent. Dude, my accent has been nothing like this when I started. Even when I started university, it was a fucking disaster. And I think if I would dig very deep, I could bring my original Hungarian accent back. And I tried so hard. I learned so much to hide it. And actually, I'm proud to say that my accent is just not that thick anymore. And for a good while, I tried to pick up some accents from the UK, from Australia, from the US, even from Canada. And then I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I can butcher like all the accents. Nobody would be able to tell that I'm a native speaker. Of course, I'm not a native speaker. I will never be a native speaker. And then one of the professors said this. He is a genius, by the way. He is studying Hungarian and American relations. It's amazing. And one day he said this. Listen, you can fight it as much as you want. And no matter how much you keep learning, no matter how much you keep trying to master it, there will always be some accent there. You will not be able to fool people. You cannot strip this away and be proud from where you're coming from. And I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. And then I started to accept this, and I did not want to pick up any more accents. However, so when, oh my god, this is gonna be so bad. When I worked on customer service, we mostly had British calls. I loved talking with the British, oh my god. And one day, someone told me, listen to this guy. So there was this guy, and his English was on point, and I listened to his accent, and it was genius. So I started to pick it up. Now I would not be able to mimic it, no matter how hard I try, because even though I do keep watching like British series and films sometimes, I'm over it. I'm over having an accent. I will always have an accent. But this is me. I learned a language, and it's not perfect. And if you don't like it, I challenge you. Learn my language. Anyway, guys, this is the reason why I don't speak my mother tongue as much as anymore. If you can relate to this, leave a comment. Let me know if you think you are the same person when you speak a foreign language. Let me know if you struggled with yourself, accepting your accent, or just in general. Anyway, that's way more than enough of my rambling. So if you guys like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, it helps me a lot, and it costs you nothing. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.